At Kerala GCC Outlook 2026, we are officially launching Kerala GCC Feasibility Report, along with organizing a panel discussion on Kerala GCC from strategic assessment to accelerated growth. The GCC Feasibility Report is a comprehensive study that presents Kerala's readiness and talent depth to attract and scale global capability center investments, an ambitious roadmap for positioning Kerala as a leading GCC destination. With more than 190,000 experienced technology professionals, 190 plus engineering colleges producing nearly 75,000 STEM graduates every year, over 1,200 technology companies, including more than 45 operational GCCs and over 8,000 startups, along with its advantageous social indicators, Kerala offers one of India's strongest foundations for GCC growth. It's our privilege to welcome all of you to Kerala GCC Outlook 2026, launch of the Kerala GCC Feasibility Report and the leadership panel discussion. We are beginning the official event at Kerala GCC Outlook 2026 with the panel discussion on the theme, Kerala GCC from strategic assessment to accelerated growth. To fulfill our dream of making Kerala a GCC hub, it is important that there are engaging and meaningful conversations among the various stakeholders who are the pillars of the GCC ecosystem in Kerala. Their perspectives matter. Through this panel discussion, we bring to you the significant and representative voices in the industry to share their thoughts on charting out a brilliant roadmap for Kerala's GCC future. We welcome you all to the panel discussion on the theme Kerala GCC from strategic assessment to accelerated growth. Let me first welcome the moderator of the panel discussion, Mr. Srinivasan Sarvabhauman, Chief Financial Officer, answer to the dais. Please welcome him with a loud round of applause. With over 30 years of financial and operational leadership experience, Mr. Srinivasan brings a deep track record of steering complex finance portfolios across the services sector. A seasoned chartered accountant and cost accountant, he has led capital planning, governance, and large-scale business transformation with clarity and discipline. At Answer, Mr. Srinivasan leads enterprise-wide finance, enhances governance, and helps guide the company through its next phase of growth and maturation. Welcome, Mr. Srinivasan. Now, please join me in inviting our panelist, Mr. Rishikesh Nair, the Chief Operating Officer of Brigade Enterprises Limited and President of Brigade World Trade Centers in Bengaluru, Chennai, and Kochi, to the stage. An IIT Kharagpur alumnus with over 2 decades of global business leadership, Mr. Rishikesh previously served as CEO of Kerala's IT Parks, where he spearheaded the expansion of the state's IT ecosystem by driving infrastructure growth, attracting multinational investments, generating employment, and accelerating software exports. He is currently leading the development of World Trade Center Trivandrum, a landmark 2 million square feet ITES destination envisioned to further strengthen Kerala's position as a global technology and business hub. Welcome, Mr. Rishikesh Nair. Thank you. Let me invite our next panelist, Ms. Suja Chandi, Global Chief Sustainability Officer and Managing Director, India at Safin, an AI platform company for regulated institutions, to the dais. With over 2 decades of leadership experience across India and North America, Ms. Suja Chandi has built and scaled global organizations and driven transformation across multiple sectors. Previously, she was Managing Director, Nissan Digital India, where she established and scaled its first global capability center in India. She also served as Vice President at Invest India, leading strategic investment and innovation initiatives, and held leadership roles at KPMG and PricewaterhouseCoopers, advising on transformation and growth. A strong advocate for responsible innovation, Suja focuses on leveraging AI, sustainability, and talent to drive business performance, resilience, and long-term impact. Welcome, Ms. Suja Chandi. Thank you. Now, may I invite Mr. Jipu Jose James, Managing Director, Project and Development Services, India at JLL, to the dais. Mr. Jibu leads close to 2,500 project managers across 500 projects that JLL runs in India. With extensive experience in project and construction management, he has been instrumental in delivering complex infrastructure and real estate projects while driving operational excellence and business growth. Prior to his current role, Mr. Jibu headed JLL's design and build and account management business and is an alumnus of IIT Delhi and Kellogg School of Management, Northwestern University. Welcome, Mr. Jibu. Next, please join me in inviting the next member on the panel, Mr. Karthik Parshuram, General Manager and Center Head for NOV's Digital Technology Center in Kochi, to the dais. Prior to NOV, Karthik led early stage and growth stage investments in South India for the IAN Group, formerly known as the Indian Angel Network, one of India's oldest and largest angel investment funds. With over 17 years of industry experience, he was also the project director of Kerala Startup Mission and had headed the aftermarket services and digitalization business at Honeywell. He holds an MBA from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. Welcome, Mr. Karthik. Now, I hand over the session to our moderator, Mr. Srinivasan. Wish you all moments of intense and fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's been a wonderful opportunity for me personally to come over here and be part of this great function. I wish Almighty all success for all steps that this government and the industry and the humanity as a group is taking to progress our nation. So firstly, welcome to all the panelists. Though I have prepared some questions to ask them to moderate, I just wanted to give my perspective in terms of how the economy has moved in the last 25 years. I would say that it is extremely significant that the last 25 years has been for our country. The services sector took a great boom, I would say, where from a services standpoint, it became the IT services, then the BPM market became bigger. On the technology space, it is the robotics process automation, then large language models were getting created. Now it's the age of AI. This technology is built on the platform called a talent that India as a country produced. Along with this talent, we have also seen how technology has influenced the growth of the country and the other allied manufacturing industries. So it's not the same way how we had worked 25 years back. And I'm more eager, like you all, to hear the perspectives as to what our panelists are going to share with us. And we keep hearing GCCs everywhere, in every state, and it has also become a national agenda. What does these global capability centers actually do? Let's hear from our panelists. So I'll just start with a simple question. So where do you all see Kerala's position in today's GCC landscape? And what does Kerala has to offer as a unique opportunity? Anybody can go. Suja, if you can go first.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And one of the most, I think, trending topics of all these days, and Kerala actively discussing GCCs. I believe we are at a time where we are perfectly set to become one of the leading destinations for global capability centers. When I say that, it's because based on the experience that I have personally had, one, building a greenfield Nissan Digital from scratch and scaling it up to 550 people in about under 2 years, in fact, year and a half. And the second, where we have moved over from being a delivery center to being a capability center, where we own outcomes. And so with that experience, I say that we are in a perfect position because bulk of our talent is from from Kerala. The second bit is we have great educational institutions. We also have a very collaborative ecosystem. And by that, I mean also a startup ecosystem. So there's plenty of talent there and a lot of different original thinking. The third part is we have very proactive government. In the last few years, I've personally seen that as well. And again, even when there's a shift, that support and proactiveness continues to go forward. So I think we are sitting at a time where we can actually become a good, unique destination. And I say unique because I believe we shouldn't be competing with anybody. We should be competing with ourselves to bring out our strengths and say, these are the things. This is why Kerala is a great place for us to live and work.
Thank you. Karthik, your views on where is Kerala positioned today?
Yeah, so once again, thank you for the opportunity. So for us at NOV, NOV, as we were discussing, it's a 160-year-old company, and with over half of our revenues coming from manufactured goods. So what we are increasingly seeing, after having set up this center in Kochi, is more like a progression from digital products into what is our forte, which is manufactured products, where we are seeing tremendous opportunity to work with some of the MSMEs, which have contributed extensively to the space ecosystem here, VSSC, ISRO, defense. So these are, capabilities where, precision manufacturing, very high, a degree of expertise is required. So these are things, which as a company, which is still very, very big on manufacturing, is actually, helping us unlock new value propositions. At least for us at NOV with the Kochi Center, what we are seeing is, a progression from like what Suja was mentioning, initially as a delivery center, cost arbitrage, but we are seeing that progression where we are starting to not own products or own outcomes, but be part of those we are part of those discussions, because it's still early days for us in Kochi, but we are part of those discussions, or those deliberations where we are able to sort of influence directions when it comes to product strategy and roadmaps and things of that nature. So Kerala for us actually means, and of course, we will of course touch upon, the diaspora part, where, we have been huge beneficiaries of the diaspora that's already there in the Middle East, people wanting to come back, work in Kerala, so closer to families, better livability. So these are all, enabling factors. And of course, the government has been a huge support. The real estate players over here, it's not, proud to say that, with our landlord, it's not a, like a tenant or a landlord relationship that we enjoy. So these are things which we are really excited about at NOV.
Yeah, you touched on real estate, so I'll move to
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Srini. Thank you very much, Srini, and thank you, Srini, for that question. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really grateful to be here. Of course, I'm from Kerala, so this matters a lot, and I've been part of, and my firm works a lot with all the GCCs. We were instrumental into bringing in a lot of multinational firms into the country, like what ANSAR does and Brigade does, and I'm surely others does. Your question, I'll come specific to your question, where Kerala plays an important role. It's very important for us to understand the plot between how the GCC world has transformed. It used to be, in our parlance, it used to be a call center when I came out of college. Then it became BPO. Then it moved into another sphere of business operations. Then we started a lot of back-end operations getting outsourced here. When you look today we are looking into a completely different landscape of R&D, of product development, of quality control, and all those aspects. Can we play the volume game? I don't think it is futile to play the volume game in Kerala. You're competing with the tier ones of the cities. You're competing with a large multinational who outsources mass of their cost, labor, talent arbitrage to here. I think we should be focusing on value. We have very good talent. The other panelists have touched upon that. Should leverage that, bring them back, and then become that niche player. And that is the clear GCC curve as well. So we will be in that good place to capitalize that growth story of GCC.
Yeah. Thanks. Rishi, your perspective, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure, and always a pleasure to talk in Technopark. So, so most of the things are already talked. So I definitely want to put a different perspective. So since we discuss about where is Kerala now, so I definitely want to give a perspective of the country where we are and compare or where we stand and how to take it from there. So GCC, before coming to GCC, if you are looking at the overall economy also, the 4 trillion economy, of which 55% is the service sector, and it all comes from the IT enabled services the GCC started, just like ODC many people were mentioning. So the IT enabled services and service sector is around 222 billion US dollars and growing at around 8% growth, and it's been for the last few decades, I would say, and we reached there. Okay, so GCC in the last report, if you look at it, they already touched 100 billion US dollars. And kind of people what we have in IT, it's around 4.5 million people direct employment and almost 3 times indirect employment or cascading effect. So it's around 15 million people working on it, and 4.5 is the actual direct employment. GCCs now itself are employing 2.3 million people. And the total number of GCCs right now, as we count, it was close 2,100 GCCs and around 3,700 units. One GCC can have multiple units, and it's expanding. From a real estate perspective, if you are looking at it, around 32% of the overall space is already used by GCCs and still growing. So it's a definite indication that it is already moving in that direction. And look at, since we were mentioning about the other cities, the tier 1 cities, the Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, we cannot compete definitely, because if you look at it, Bangalore is having nearly around 32% of the GCC operations. Chennai is almost maybe 18%, Hyderabad is 22%. Overall, around 70% of GCC operations is handled by the South Indian cities of Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad. The other 30% is capitalized by Mumbai, Pune, NCR region. So where we stand, so of course, we are not there yet. We still have a long way to go. So Kerala with this, our economy also, if you are looking at it, the IT enabled services, the service sector is around 65%, Kerala 10% higher than the national average. And service sector, if you look at it, the IT enabled services and the software sector is almost 14,000 crores. We are growing. And the GCC sector, once you look at it, it's almost come to around 40% already. And now how we target that, that's exactly what Suja was mentioning. You cannot compete with the giants. So how we can, be supportive to the tier 2, tier 1 cities and develop as a tier 2 destination is the thing which we need to look upon. So maybe in the next further sessions, we can see which all sectors we should focus, how we can develop, what all things are coming up, and all these things we can discuss further down the line. Thank you.
Thanks, all members, for your valuable opinion. I think Karthik touched upon a very interesting point in terms of supporting all space related DRDO, you said, you talked about ISRO. So, are we talking about innovations out here, or are you generally talking about servicing them?
So when I touched upon, us working with, some of the vendors who are, also tier 1 vendors to the likes of ISRO, I was mentioning more like a co-innovation or a co-development. So it wasn't more of a cost arbitrage or, a different kind of a play there, but it was more of a, a co-development or a co-innovation scenario there. And it's not, so it took its own time, somewhere around a year and a half to prove itself. But the results have been extremely promising, and because these are what we supply to the global energy industry. These are products that are always in mission critical environments. So there is OEM responsibility or liability that will come to bite back should things not go as per the standards or as per plan, right? So and it's lives at stake. So we do operate with those factors in mind, and we are sort of very happy how these engagements have turned out. Yeah.
It's actually interesting that the industry per se has evolved from just a cost arbitrage. Now it is looking more like a talent arbitrage. We have to leverage on the talent that is available in this part of the country. Okay, this is a specific question to Karthik and Suja because you are representing the innovation technology sector. So your centers have evolved beyond delivery to an innovation, digital engineering, and business critical capabilities. So, what has enabled this evolution? And how is Kerala's talent and ecosystem contributing to this?
Shall I go ahead? Okay, let me talk about Zafin, right? Where I think Zafin was first established here in Trivandrum in 2006. I mean, really when, the entire IT industry was starting to really burgeon and Kerala starting to make a name for itself. And it has since evolved. Over the last 3 years, what we have seen is, like I said, ownership, a lot more ownership focus on outcomes. I would say the single reason for that is trust, because we have been able to showcase the capabilities and value that we have been able to drive out of India by, the talent, the ecosystem from which we are able to, a sustained talent, right? Like we need to have a sustained pipeline of talent and people who are thinkers. And especially this matters because, we have moved away from where we were thinking of, or at least, I'm part of the global leadership, where we were thinking, what do we send? What is the kind of work that we send to India or, Trivandrum, versus what is the kind of work that Trivandrum should own? And that is the conversation right now, and which is, a proud moment for all of us. And the other point is that we need to sustain that, and especially because over the last 1 year, AI has completely changed the entire game. So we could talk about talent arbitrage. We could talk about how great our talent is, but now we are looking at a very different kind of talent. Even our hiring requirements have changed. Kerala, I feel, is still positioned to do that well because anecdotally, and somebody could, tell me if I'm wrong, I hear that Cochin, coincidentally, has one of the biggest pool of AI talent. I don't know. I mean, I hear that. I keep on hearing that after Bangalore. We need people who think very differently. We need people to own outcomes. We need people who take accountability. We need people who can communicate and influence customer outcomes. We can't have just people who deliver excellent technical, skills or, coding, because that has changed. Across our organization, AI is deeply embedded. We are an AI platform for regulated industries, starting with 2 decades of banking. So the way that we look at it is changed. So that means my challenge right now is to ensure that we're keeping up with the thinking globally on how this center here and our, can keep up with the changing world and the changing customer requirements.
Yeah, you brought out a very valid point. It's not just about thinking or innovation. Great points like owning up. I own the outcomes. Ownership actually matters a lot. And I think that's been one key takeaway for me from this question. Karthik, your point of view?
Yeah, I agree, and I just want to sort of put a finer point there with with more like a parallel where because while we talk about deep tech innovation and R&D quite a bit, and as somebody who spent time in the venture ecosystem, what we should also be mindful about is the venture ecosystem exists because there was that internet or that e-commerce layer that was built and was able to attract capital, right? Likewise, as when we seek to grow GCCs out of a place like Kerala, what we are increasingly seeing is we are beneficiaries of the ecosystem of whatever a BPM or an IT services layer that was already here. So we are as much while we in some ways we compete for pretty much the same talent, in many ways we are also the beneficiaries of that layer which got built over 25-30 years. So that is something which we are very mindful and appreciative about. And the other factor, when it comes to Kerala is again, the like Suja was saying, like these are people, who want to think differently, especially, the diaspora Malayalis, that we are able to attract for many of our roles. They come with experience of working already in a multicultural environment. Their standards when it comes to, simple things like, documentation, or, punching in, timesheets or whatever, very, very rudimentary things. The sheer process discipline that they bring to the table is on a whole different level, right? And that actually ups the bar on, all the other aspects as well. So these are things where, we are able to prove it, that, yeah, we can, in Kochi, we can sort of, uh, perhaps, punch above what is our perceived weight, if I may put it that way.
Lot to do with culture then. Technically, it's how Keralites are culturally, I would say, made or culturally designed. So I think probably that speaks volumes. So, what's the single biggest advantage of operating from Kerala? If I've just in one word or in one sentence, that you would really say that it's very not very obvious to other GCCs or the market out in the world, but if you have to say that, hey, I'm here, look at me, what would you say that? Anybody can.
In my opinion, one is stability. Because if you look at most of the organizations I've been, especially like with Safin now, I mean, Nissan was fairly new, but you see that one of the biggest critical factors for the success of any GCC or any organization for that matter is the ability to build as well as retain institutional knowledge. I believe in Kerala we are able to do that fairly well because most of the people who are here tend to, be able to put their time in as build and grow themselves as part of the organization's growth. So that stability is there, where we don't see people switching over every 1 year. I mean, not saying that is not there, but I believe a fair number, if you look at, there is a lot of people who have been in the organization for longer. So what we are then trying to do as organizations, because we need that institutional knowledge, we also need new knowledge to be built because we talk about learning and all that. As organizations, we are building continuous learning into, learning and development has become extremely important. So whether it's leadership development, AI skilling, other, technical or functional skill sets, we put a lot of effort into learning and building that learning aspects. But that stability is one factor. The second factor I do want to, and as a proud Keralite who has come back from being outside, I would have to say ease of living. I think, we always are proud to say, when I go to Delhi frequently, every 2 weeks I'm in Delhi, and AQI, right? We talk about that. And I have to say that because we always, I like to lift up and say that, listen, this is what Kerala's Trivandrum's AQI is today and brag about it. It's a factor because ease of living is as important and this is something that we market when we talk to people, especially talent, because one of the things is, of course, 60% of our talent is local from across Kerala. But some niche we have to bring from outside, and so it is not just the Kerala diaspora coming back, but it's also others who are enticed by what the state has to offer. So whether it is good weather, good safe unpolluted weather, good safe living, good schools, I think that also adds to the quality. So which is what I keep on and the fact that, and as a sustainability person I need to say this, we are very intentional about doing things, right? So as my colleague here was saying, we can't build volumes, but we are very intentional about what we are building, whether it's the industry's policy being green or any of the other things. Sustainability is embedded into everything. So people who want a purpose and who wants to all of these things, I think Kerala shines well.
I think you have chosen quality over quantity.
I always chose quality over quantity.
Jipu or Rishi?
Before I answer that, I had an interesting thing. I thought it is important when Karthik here shared about aerospace and space, right? I was fortunate to see Bangalore's growth in GCC on the IT ITS space from the days of ITPL. I'm sure that you have seen it. Over the past 5 years, I've been instrumental and very closely associated with what the aerospace park just outside of Bangalore airport has been. So that was not a destination at all. I was personally involved in setting up TE's electronics factory there. Nobody wanted to go there. The staff told no. Ultimately, they sold the facility. Today, there is 200 plus aerospace and associated operators there. And when we meet the owners, the MDs, the US colleagues of them, they say that HAL plus Bangalore Airport has been a very unique proposition for them to come over there. Now, if I bring it back to Trivandrum, we have much better history. We have added to that, we have ISRO, we have VSC, we have a very good airport which can get moved. Then we have a port to add to it. And to add to it, we don't have to import talent. We now have talent like this to come in and do niche work. So it's GCC stories in Bangalore have transformed to other sectors, just to give you that example. To your question on why Kerala, I'll echo what Suja here told. Quality for sure. Aeros, I'll add on to the AQI, right? We are fortunate to travel across the country. Garbage, when you land outside of the airport and move outside, that's a big set off for any multinational or even for us also. If you look at Kerala when transformed here, it's a massive transformation. My own personal story, it's very important. We were sitting and debating where to go after 2 more years and work. So we have multiple choices. Being working and fortunate to be working in a multinational company, I can choose a destination and go. We zeroed in back to Kerala in 3 years. We are very clear we want to come back and live and work. And there is a reason, because of the quality which this state can offer versus the cost is completely disproportionate. From healthcare to school to social infrastructure to quality of your environment is completely different. So that is something which we should leverage out and get talent back. So quality for sure, and stability. I was reading, we struggle with retention of staff in every area. This is one state that is much lesser when compared to other states.
Yeah, our research says that your attrition rates are less than 50% of a Bangalore or a Hyderabad. So no brainer. So moving on to Rishi. So your perspective, why Kerala?
Okay, so I'll summarize what many of the others were putting up. So just like my fellow panelists were mentioning that we have definitely advantage of being a tier 2 city. Okay, so tier 1 cities are definitely having all the capital advantages. But if you look at the stats of multiple companies which are coming in, so the GCCs, if you look at it, the 50% of the GCCs for the last financially, if you're looking at it, they went to one city. That's not Bangalore, that's not Chennai, that's Hyderabad. And of course, Hyderabad cannot be even classified as a tier 2 anymore, but still it is there in the tier 2 sector right now. So that shows the advantage that, of course, tier 2 cities have a definite advantage. And if we summarize many of the things which we mentioned, from a company perspective, if you're looking at it, it is definitely the low cost of operations. Of course, many of the places the cost arbitrage has gone, but still it's 30% lower than the other tier 1 cities. The cost of operations are low, and the cost of talent is definitely lower. And we are getting the lower attritions, where Bangalore and Mumbai are running at 18 to 21% of attrition. We are at 8 to 9%. So we have good talent, and the kind of, from a employee perspective, definitely low cost of living definitely is there. High quality of life is there, and less pollution, less traffic. So all these things are tier 2 city advantages, and we are not even understanding from Kerala. So we are actually pampered with all these things. So when somebody comes from outside and see that, oh God, you're living in such a city. And one of the biggest advantages what Kerala as total, if you're looking at it, ours is a very small state. We move from city to city, city to township. So in 600 kilometers, we have the entire stretch of, it's always classified as Trivandrum, Kochi, Calicut ecosystem. And we have the fantastic IT parks with 1,000 companies and 100,000 employees with talent full. It's like talent density and talent diversity. That's what we are offering. So I strongly recommend that, of course, when we put up to a GCC, to understand the ecosystem. And of course, we are not even competing with tier 1 cities, but we are actually collaborating with tier 1 cities, how to develop, how to bring in companies into the tier 2 destination. We have definitely a hub and spoke model which we can develop, where the hub remains in the tier 1 and the spoke can be in any of the tier 2 cities, which people are definitely actively working on. So we can definitely look into that further.
So, since you touched upon that, I'll ask you a very relevant one. In terms of infrastructure, real estate, and policy support, what has been the biggest drivers in attracting GCC to the state?
Yeah, at this stage, representing Kerala, I am not in a position to say that we are victorious enough to attract so much of GCCs. We have hardly around 40 GCCs, 43 GCCs right now. We are looking at around 120 GCCs in the near future. So around 40,000 employees are working. We are looking at 2 lakh employees in the next 2-3 years. So we are not saying that, of course, we attracted so much, but I can definitely say that we are in the right path going there. How? So I already talked about the tier 2 ecosystem which are favorable for Trivandrum and Kochi and Calicut. And the other things which you are looking at is a proactive government, whether I'm not advocating for the current government or previous government, every government supported IT ecosystem heavily. And that parts as a policy for the GCCs also. But that doesn't mean that the same policy will be catering to GCC also. We need to have a separate policy. But if you're looking at it, the ease of doing business have been tremendously high. And I'm not saying that we are the achievers. The achievers are definitely Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, UP and all. But we are in the top list of achievers for the fast movers. In the last year, we have been credited for that and it is moving very well. And simply saying all the GCCs are directly enrolled in the system, rightly get all the permission sanctions within 1 week. So that is going on right now. So then the ease of doing business actually has, made sure that Kerala is already there in that place. Second thing, definitely we need to look at is the Human Development Index. We are collectively talking about all the positiveness of the Kerala ecosystem. So if you're looking at it, the life expectancy, the public health, the education, or the knowledge factor, the digital literacy, as well as all other things put together, the quality of life, the living standards, Kerala is way high when compared to any other state. So if you are looking at the indices, I think if it is around 0.86 or something like that in that metrics, which is at the higher level. Above us, it's only Goa. So if you look at it, Goa, Punjab, Kerala are the top listed places with the higher human development index. What it matters, what is the human development index showing? So the talent which is coming up are having that much of quality. So sustainable, educatable, and scalable talent is there from this ecosystem. So now looking at a policy level, definitely it's like what we are looking at, or what the state is proposing is a sandbox for all the new companies to operate. Safe harbor regime, what we call. So the safe harbor regime, if you are implementing, it should be beating the special economic zone priorities. So CES already had a 30% tax rebate at that point of time, which changed into a minimum alternate tax of 18. Then it came down. So then ultimately the sunset clause was done in 2019. So we don't want to discuss about that. But when we go to a GCC ecosystem, that policy should be definitely overcoming all these things separately. So it's like statutory tax compliance. So I think we already copied, or we have already worked on many of things which are over and above the Gujarat policy or Tamil Nadu policy or Hyderabad or Telangana policy. So where we stipulated that the statutory tax regime has already been simplified. Say for example, IT enabled services, if I understand correctly, from 24% it has been reduced to 15%. And similarly, the transfer pricing has been already simplified with advanced pricing regime. And then turnover limit has been increased from 50 million to 200 million. These are all amazing, policies which is coming up. So the GCC policy has, as such, will be a driver to strategize it. And then the incentives. Every company will be looking into incentives. The incentive can be completely, deductions from the, say for example, if you're registering a lead, everything will be, completely given free for the stamp duty and other registrations. And then rebates with the tariff, the power tariff or the rental, or that is the capex and opex, both will be giving specific rebates. And more specifically will be the talent recruitment training as well as the training cost. can be reimbursed. So all these things can be given to a GCC. Even EPF can be, you can put up a limit for maybe 1 or 2 years EPF can be reimbursed, or a capital up to around 50 crores can be. All these policies are there in the GCC policy which is coming up. So I strongly feel that it is a solid ecosystem which is already catering to GCC. And now how we need to take it through is the biggest challenge which the government should be taking.
Jipu, your thoughts?
Yesterday I was comparing, like what Rishi touched upon, I was comparing other states and other this top states policies versus Kerala. And I had asked 3 times back, is this right? And I was pleasantly surprised that we have a very good policy from there. If I look from what we can do more is the question. Right? The education institutions becomes crucial for this, that ecosystem. We will have to pick that up. Rishi touched upon hub and spoke. To operate a hub and spoke, the most important thing for us is connectivity. We have a very good connectivity internationally. For an international leg, 90% of our international transport happens between Middle East. For anybody coming from a Western world or anywhere else, Middle East becomes one leg. But domestic for a hub and spoke, we have a lot of area to improve. Just to pick up these 2 things, education and logistics, there are multiple other things which we can look at. I'm not looking from a policy perspective, but if we are able to cross these kind of things to make it far better, then I think this becomes a go-to destination. Today, connectivity in all the 3 major cities for us domestically, people will actually think twice before putting a second or a BCP operation here in any of the Kerala states.
Thank you. See, today's GCCs are looking more than office space. I'm sure we all spoke about it as well. So they want integrated ecosystems that support innovation, collaboration, and employee experience. So how do you think Kerala is trying to or evolving to meet these expectations? In the sense, like we rightly said, when you come out of the airport, you see that the garbage is clean, the ecosystem is clean. From an employee standpoint, you said attrition is low, sustainability is there. But generally, while you enter into a tech park, it is great, it is nice, but the way from airport to tech park is still a question mark. Not just in Kerala, I would say. Probably Kerala is the best, I would say, compared to other cities. If you get down in Bombay, you can witness it for yourself. There is a sea change. So is Bangalore. So how do you think, not just in Kerala, we might have to, or the government has to support, or how people can support in developing the infrastructure, or could be a cultural thing, could be self-discipline. How do we do that? More of Swachh Bharat types.
Okay, I think again the question comes to me. For this, we need to take a step back and understand how the inside and outside of office have transformed. Over the past 5 years, and especially after the pandemic, we have seen global roles coming to India. Like, I was pleasantly surprised to see she is heading a global role, right? These roles were unheard in India, and for that matter, even in South India. Today, we have a lot of global roles which comes to India. Now, what it transforms back, and I was fortunate again, we have all designed office in some form and shape. There used to be a thumb rule of per seat cost. There used to be a thumb rule around what is the area per head when you design an office. So it used to be 50 to 80 square feet per office. Today, when we look back, this is like very badly designed office. People don't want to work there. Today, the average size of the office is around 100 square feet. So inside of office, again, the discussion is around what the quality of food, all the generation sits inside these offices. The entertainment piece around inside the office, the flexibility around hybrid work of ITAV, that becomes crucial. The spend inside the office. Today, in India, we are talking about $300 per square feet. We used to speak $20 per square feet to build these offices. So look at the vast change in which the inside office have transformed. Are we there? Can we do better in Kerala? 100% we can do better in Kerala. Other cities are actually, if you look at Bombay and Delhi, they are forefronting this on attracting talent, and a lot is to do with international expat talent sitting there. So that's an inside of office story. And it's important that we do that. The second aspect here is outside of office. Everybody, whichever generation, if I have school going children, if I have aged parents, I need an ecosystem around the office to cater to that. If I am a much younger person, I need a destination to go. I need a go-to place on entertainment or F&B. Can we repurpose our office spaces to go there? The tier one, most of the tier two cities, including cities like Coimbatore and Jaipur, has already cracking that and moving far ahead. Mixed use development, cinemas, entertainment, F&B units, retail, hotels, everything parked into one place. So people feel happy to go there. They're catering that need, and it becomes a destination not only during office, over weekends. So that's crucial. You mentioned about outside infrastructure. I'll touch upon. I don't think we can do too much around it. You just have to be better than others. And you yourself compared other cities. So for sure, it is a pleasant surprise to come here when we chart international colleagues travel to India. We tell that go up to Cochin and then you have to do a Trivandrum. You have to only cater 20 minutes to reach the office. They see Bangalore and Bombay where we cater 2 hours and they're like, seriously, it's only 20 minutes. And then the question comes, so we are better off than that. We need to stay there with the infrastructure.
Any perspectives?
Yeah. So I add to what Jipu was mentioning. So I'll put it in this way. From a demand perspective, what the GCCs will be looking at? The GCCs will be looking at for the talent, definitely, and what we call it as workforce. Definitely, they look at the talent diversity as well as the talent density, how much talent we have, and then second thing will be the workplace. Jipo rightly mentioned it earlier. So if you look at the ODC platform, when we were at the ODC stage, it was in early 90s, from where we transitioned up to the capability centers. At that time, even 50 was also high, 30 or 40 square feet per person. From there, right now, GCC is looking at 100, 120 square feet per person. So we traverse up the value chain. If you look at it, the bottom was like that. It is a pyramid. So if you're looking at that, the bottom of the pyramid was like value is lesser, so it is volume higher. So that already moved out. So we are not worried about it. That's why we moved up the value chain, and the technology has already embraced, and we are already there. So workforce, definitely, and workplace, they all require high quality workplace, like a premium. It's like a hospitality grade, what we call hotel kind of a workspace we require. And infrastructure, digital and physical infrastructure. So they require, the GCCs require digital and physical infrastructure, and of course technology. Technology right now, every GCC requires AI, right from Innovation Center of Excellence development, as well as for a BPR, whether it is HR revamping or finance, anything they require AI. So the technology part is all. These are the 4 things which GCC require. Now, from a perspective of Kerala, what we need to definitely, from a supply side, if you're looking at it, we need to definitely add on to all these things into a mix where we should strategize first. So the strategy comes from the GCC policy. We should have some place, a placeholder where what we are taking through. So that's why I mentioned that in the GCC policies, all these things should be included, which is already at a draft form itself, it is there. Now we need to implement it. We take it through. There should be investments. Say, for example, a company is coming in. So I was earlier asking to you also how a cascading, that we'll discuss later. So once a company comes in, the first thing what a company is looking at is ready to occupy incubation space. There should be an investment going in for a ready to occupy incubation space, and also the infrastructure for a GCC campus, which is for a center of excellence. So we have the talent, we have the infrastructure, and then the GCC is coming. This is always a chicken and egg situation. When whether GCC coming in, we'll provide these things. So
or we provide these to attract GCCs.
So that is always happening. So then the last part is the public infrastructure. So if you're looking at the infrastructure, rightly pointed out where the flight connectivity and metro is a must. So we, from the state of Kerala, we tried earlier in the government. So since I was in the government, I can understand, I can correlate that. The hub and spoke model within a state will not work. That we proven and we failed. So that is the same thing which Jitpu was telling. But we have a place where the hub and spoke model within the country will be a success. because our tier 2 cities, say for example in the state of Kerala, the flight connectivity to Trivandrum and Cochin, of course it is still developing, but still we have connectivity in the major cities, not into the lower points. Say Tamil Nadu, if you're looking into Chennai, we have connectivity, Coimbatore we have connectivity, but not like Madurai or any other places. Like that, the major cities will have connectivity, which we can connect it to. We should have more flight connections to say Bangalore, Bombay, or any of the tier 1 cities where we can capitalize and bring the big
So
clients.
again, going back to your hub and spoke model within the country.
Yes.
Okay. Karthik, I would want to hear your perspective. So Kerala has got strong education system, technical talent. So which skills and qualities? I'm talking about skills and qualities have consistently differentiated talent from Kerala. And where do you believe that ecosystem needs investment?
See where okay from let me talk about it from an unmet need perspective. So where we've had occasionally, not consistently, but occasionally we've had challenges in terms of hiring is um, Kerala, at least in Kochi, we've had some issues, when it comes to hiring people, getting good talent when it comes to people, who have more exposure on the enterprise side of things, especially from a product standpoint. So, but I mean, in some cases, how we are able to, sort of plug that gap or, address those problems is where, there are very, very good people in, the IT ES organizations who want to make the transition from a service environment to a product environment. Okay. Those are people, in this day and age, especially with, AI, like lateral methods of learning and other things, they're able to, sort of upskill themselves and, sort of make themselves, more attractive or, useful from that standpoint. So that is a very definitive trend, especially within I can confidently say, within the Trivandrum and Kochi workforce that, we are seeing, and we are very happy about it. But I mean, in many cases, like what Jipu and Rishi also mentioned. In many cases, the sheer sort of ease of living when it comes to Kerala or Kochi, that you can, I mean, in a year's time perhaps you could actually commute from the what is the business district to the IT hub on a metro in maybe 30 to 40 minutes. My commute is only 45 minutes and I live 15 kilometers away. I don't live near the office. So that should tell you something about how the traffic is in Kochi, right? So these are things which are becoming very attractive to people in the other hubs, not just in Bangalore but in places like Coimbatore or Pune, Vishakhapatnam. These are places from where we are seeing increasing number of people applying to some of our positions in Kochi. Helps the diversity aspect as well, right? Yeah. So yeah.
So AI reshapes the world or has reshaped enterprises, operating models. So GCCs are increasingly becoming AI innovation hubs. We all spoke about it, and these are not just delivery centers, they are innovation hubs. So what's your perspective in terms of how can Kerala position to be the AI first GCC, or what do you think we should do? I think we spoke about all of it, but if you have to summarize, if Kerala is to be positioned as an AI first GCC hub, so what would you really advise or your thoughts are?
As part of the investment that you was talking about, right? All of you, in fact, were talking about, Karthik. I would also say for an AI, to be successful for all of us is creating a next pipeline of talent. For that, we need investment into academia, industry, and government collaboration. I think that ecosystem can be further strengthened. It is already there, but I think it requires much more strengthening, because academia and industry need to work together, and government could be the big enabler bringing them together. Why? Because the skill sets that are required by any organization right now, and especially if you want to hire younger talent, is very different. because you have AI, and including in our organization, we hire very limited number of fresh talent because we require domain expertise. We require other additional skills that may quite not be ready with young talent that are coming in, early talent. What we are trying to do is then look at internships for a longer period, like 6 months and all that, where we get to train them a little bit more, and then we go. This has been thanks to, this happened when Nissan had first come in, and we had said we were hiring young talent, early talent from outside the state, because we didn't have that concept of long-term internship. And I think, Rishi, all of you were part of that, where we actually changed it to 6 months right now in Kerala, which is good. But we need to further strengthen it, because I would also say within the education system, you have to train the trainers also, because that is something I believe is a need of the hour, because they need to be closely collaborating with the industry to see what is the need of the hour. Because theoretically, things that we maybe still be teaching may not yet be, maybe far behind. So I know a lot of kids are proactive in terms of doing their own learning, but that is not good enough, right? And then you have to get people who can be functional on the job very quickly, because companies like us, we put a lot of investments into training, but that is not good enough. We can't start from zero. We need to start from somewhere a little above zero, right? So that is one. Second thing is, I think with AI, we also are talking, and one of the things I do want to add to the list of 4 that Rishi said earlier is sustainability, because sustainability is not a nice to have, it is a must have. Especially with AI, responsible AI comes in. We are also have to build, buildings and, offices and things like that. And in a regulated industry world that we are operating in, these are questions that clients themselves are asking, right? Questions where, how do you manage? What is your water source? Where do you come from? So I think the state has a good opportunity, because we do have a green policy, to embed that into our entire marketing, to show that this is how we are different. And it's very, very critical, especially when we talk about AI, because in our organization, people are given the tools. Every single person who walks into who is hired from day one has access to either a Claude or a ChatGPT or Cursor, you name it, right? But that also comes with a lot of responsibility they need to have to ensure that. So that kind of learning we'll need to invest in.
So I think then we should also have a clearly defined AI policy, right, from government, from the country. How do we protect? How do we use, or so that there are no misuses that are happening? Plus, companies also coming up with specialized AI policies that govern or protect their data. And you made a very valid point that it is critical to have the functional knowledge or the domain knowledge. I can always add skills to it. I really like that piece of it, because it comes only by experience, or somebody who's working on that core domain is very critical. It is easy to teach a skill to use and gallop from there, rather than to teach a functional knowledge over years to somebody who knows just the technical skills. I think technical skills are very critical. If governments can subsidize, like Rishi said, that, hey, can you give subsidy on the training? So that was a very valid point. If those are all promoted, then I think with the sustainable focus that this state has got, it has a lot more to achieve. Finally, one last question from my end before we open up to questions to the audience. Every state today is promoting a GCC. And if you had to define the brand Kerala, God's own country, so what would that be? And what would that message be for attracting talent or GCC or industries? Say, you can say, come green, or whatever it is. Just a tagline for the government.
For the government, I think the
To
whole
attract.
of government's marketing
saying.
machinery is here, and you're putting us on the spot. But I think green should anyway be embedded into it. Like ease of living should definitely be embedded into it. And like I said, we can think of the tagline. We have ChatGPT and Claude for that. But at least, these are the prompts that could go in.
Yeah, the prompts are critical, because every state is now attracting GCC talent. So what makes Kerala special? That's my, at least the prompts. I'm expecting the prompts from you.
Okay. Rishi?
Yeah, definitely. Kerala being the green state, we cannot eliminate that green factor. So I would definitely put green, secure, digital, because we are the first digital state. Green being the quality of life, secure being secure social ecosystem, and digital being all the startup and ecosystem for the companies to operate.
Do you want another one? I thought Rishi has already.
Please.
Well, I would also say one thing from my gender perspective, that it's a very good state for, we are 50-50, right? That's the gender equality here. And it's the state where, women are in a lot of leadership positions. And it's a great friendly state for women as well to thrive in their careers.
And I mean, just to add a different flavor there, apart from the obviously the green or the environmental aspects, even from a business standpoint, stable and sustainable is something which I'd add to what should be the Kerala tagline, because stable, of course, purely from how stable the workforce is, how manageable the attrition levels are, and of course sustainable, not just from a cost standpoint but also from the quality of talent. So yeah.
Jipu?
Uh, I'll stick to value. Rest all others have covered. But also, you made an interesting point around God's own country, right? What did we do on tourism? We are not a volume player in tourism. Today, globally, if anybody thinks about a trip, and that to Kerala, that to India, Kerala becomes an inherent part of it. Now, if you are able to replicate that into this world, that's crucial for our success. I think we need to market much more than the tagline. For sure, we have our own values, we have our own things which we have. And that piece becomes crucial in the whole success journey.
So this comes to the end of my set of questions that I had prepared. I think I thoroughly enjoyed learning a lot about Kerala from these four esteemed speakers. So if there are any questions to the audience, we'll be more than happy to take it. Yes, please.
Actually, I just wanted to mention, is it audible?
Yeah, you are.
A point which we did not discuss, I think Kerala has a unique advantage that many regions don't have, which is an industrial diaspora having thousands of businesses in UAE, wider GCC, even UK, Europe, US, and even in Africa. So these businesses have a definite ambition to expand back internationally, including back home. So the government should be having a policy alongside attracting multinational GCCs. Government should be attracting these businesses also, establishing their GCCs or any operations to have their businesses having their impact, including HR, finance, customer support, and technology. So I represent an organization called FOKIT, which is Forum of Innovation and Technology Kannur. We are focusing on this to bring the companies back to Kerala, and I'm a founder and CEO of Mavion Corporate Services, Dubai. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that was what, when I was talking to Karthik, he was saying that we started as an innovation first, then moved on to become a shared services. So that was very interesting. You're doing both now.
Yeah, good evening. The panel came out with wonderful propositions, starting with talent development, hub and spoke, ease of living and skill set, education, deep tech. Having said this, National GCC at Delhi concluded with a takeaway of highest order, skill mismatch and skill gap, chaired by Honorable Finance Minister of India. So, in that, the human intelligence has to be enhanced, whether it be domestic or international GCC. So, how well integrating tier 1, 2, 3, Kerala can forecast a ecosystem for this, also to play as a part of the as a national initiative to play a role in the national ecosystem of GCC. How you see the panel experts here? Especially the cross-border intelligence, because of that many deep tech has not coming. The developed economies are not coming, lack of human intelligence. skill mismatch, skill gap. She was talking of skill sets. I'm talking of the takeaway was skill gap and skill mismatch. How do you foresee that?
I would largely rely on Rishi's response and will ask him to add more. Is can Kerala be the hub and spoke model with other tier 1 cities? So I think that is one core answer where when you cross pollinate people, when you create a hub and spoke model, the movement is always not from the center to the various smaller cities. It can also be vice versa. Today we have seen global leaders sitting out of Kerala. So the cross pollination helps. So your perspective.
Yeah, Umar, happy to see you back. So, see, one thing which we can understand is that any technical development, say for example, any company coming into a technical AI or blockchain or cybersecurity, any of this technology, there'll be always a funding pattern. So that is definitely there for a technology. But the skill set improvement, the funding for the skill set is always lacking for sure. So now, let me come to that point. So, in from the Kerala perspective, if you're looking at it, uh, for any technology, so we talked about AI. So, for any technology, if you're looking at a center of excellence, we should have 4 pillars of growth. That one pillar will be an anchor company for that particular sector. Then, second will be an academic institute to educate them. And third will be a startup ecosystem. And fourth will be a skill set improvement. Kerala is a place I can vouch it for sure that all the skill set, all these pillars are very strong. So, say for example, I'm not talking about every sector. We can talk about the major sectors. So, we are strong at digital and IT. We are strong at BFSI. If you're looking at the GCCs, 34% of the GCCs are coming from digital and IT, and 35% is coming from BFSI. So, there you are. So 35, and the rest of the technologies, rest of the sectors are coming only in the 30% bracket. So now if you're looking at these sectors and into these 4 pillars, so Kerala ecosystem, if you're looking at digital and AI, we have the 3 big IT parks, which spans over, as I mentioned, around 1,000 plus companies and 100,000 skilled laborers, it's employees in this ecosystem. And if you're looking at the education institutes, if I remember correctly, we have around 190 engineering colleges and with around 75 to 78,000 STEM graduates passing out every year. So we don't have a dearth of talent in the state. And startup ecosystem, we have the best startup ecosystem in the country. We have Startup Mission. We have Maker Village embedded electronic technologies in Kochi. And the scaling platform, we have the ICT Academy, which trains the trainers, as well as we have the skill set upgradation on ASAP, additional skill development program, which is called ASAP. So what else we require? The state or government of this state has already provided all these 4 pillars. It's only collaborating that and making it available for a GCC is what it matters. Say now, coming back to that particular thing. So we mentioned about the GCC policy, which is coming up. It's only there are multiple how to do it in a GCC level. There are multiple ways of happening it. GCC development, GCC accelerators. So that's where answer works. So collaborating the right perspective of right education institution, right company, right startup mission, all put together, only a GCC can work. So hope it answers.
So we can think of or visualize a mission policy for GCC, Kerala being one of the stakeholder at the national level.
I think I'm pretty sure that a GCC policy is coming up. I think the draft it is already on. Maybe Technopark, Infopark CEOs can answer that.
Yeah, regarding GCC policy, we are already moving forward. We will be very soon having the GCC policy. We will talk about in the next session, definitely. But coming back to session, it was very engaging and enriching. Some of the points I was also able to note down, which is new to me also. So Rishi touched upon the GCC policy. I think you have read the draft also. So and the component also, what should be there in it. Of course, we will finalize it when we will release it. There will be public level discussion also onto that. But hopefully this year itself we will have a GCC policy in place. So apart from GCC policy and the incentives that you talked about, Rishi, so what are the other things in the immediate term or the medium term as a government we should be taking up as a bucket list, if you can give us, do this. There are many things that we cannot do, like connectivity. We cannot drastically improve overnight. So is the like social factors and those kind of factors. But there are still many of the factors that we actually can influence in a short term or medium term. So what are those wish list that you would like to have for government?
Before anybody steps in, I want to make my representation first. Sorry. The first and foremost thing, there should be a committee headed by the IT minister or Secretary of State, making sure that the GCC policy and GCC things are implemented. The committee should be headed by IT or Industries Minister for sure, so that there is no question about a any red tapeism going on or anything like that. That should be the first and foremost thing. Second thing is that there should be something like, I can take a cue from the Tamil Nadu government. We have a guidance bureau, a separate wing which works only for the GCCs or companies to operate. I'm not, delimiting the powers what KSADC has got. KSAD is doing a fantastic job. Infra is doing a fantastic job. They have their own battles to win. So this is a this one bureau which works only for the investment, and we need to have something specifically for GCC, so that all this, it will not be going all over the place. And then a single window clearance board with deemed approval within 7 days. Thanks.
I will add on to that list. One is, of course, for GCC, the first question is availability of talent, availability of skilled talent. We have engineering colleges, 190, and this is an opportunity for us. That is how I'm putting it, right? We have 70,000 graduates, all of that coming, but how many are job ready? How do we make them job ready? And that is where I think there is a gap, where the academia, industry and government needs to partner, because you need to show not just immediate lateral, you need to show a pipeline of talent. I think that is very important, because this is one of the first criteria when we are looking at expanding, or when we are a new greenfield GCC coming into the picture. The second bit is, we spoke about that connectivity. We do have, I think that is somewhere again an opportunity to improve. We see that, as the season changes, the flights either typically reduce. So while we have connectivity towards major cities like Chennai and Bombay, we see that the number of flights are far and few between, and which doesn't help. Like if someone, especially when it's an hub and spoke, and someone wants to fly in and fly out the same day, that is pretty much impossible to do. At least between Kerala, within Kerala, between Trivandrum, Cochin and Calicut, we have Vande Bharat. So if you're lucky enough to get into it, we can do that. But that is a big challenge. And I think that needs to be addressed. This is something that we have, I think, constantly comes on the radar. This is something where the government can proactively help. But otherwise, I think Kerala has a lot of great ingredients, So some of these challenges, I think it's more of an opportunity for us to work on. And also, I think it's giving us a time to plan and prepare, because around this, there is a lot of infrastructure growth that was not there in the last 6 years. But it needs to also be very planned growth. I think without planned growth, we do not want to become another tier 1 city that is struggling with its own, issues. Right now, especially with all the sustainability thinking and all of that, we need to take that, and the government should take the lead in ensuring that this is a very planned city for people, so that ease of living continues.
I think one great point I would say, is it like after somebody graduates, say, do they get into a 3-month or a 6-month upskilling course and be ready for something? So if it's not a polytechnic per se, but it's not a graduation per se, but it is just an upskilling program that makes people job ready in that sense. Is that what you are referring to? I just want to get that clarification.
Whenever you are already in engineering college or whichever, you need to encourage them to have entrepreneurial thinking and mindset. It's a change in mindset. So it's not just the academia. How do we get that extra points for people to work in real life situations? So it could be like apprenticeship or internship, right? Along with it.
Last few months of their graduation can
Third,
be an
fourth,
internship.
Not just in the last, 3rd, 4th year, so that they continue to, because it has to happen then, not at the end.
Sir,
Sorry, you were having a question.
As per the new policy, FIUGP, 4-year UG program, already 6 months is included. 6 months internship is already included in the academia in Kerala.
I've been running the GCC here, about close to 2,000 people in Trivandrum and Hyderabad together. Trivandrum being the hub actually. Spoke is in Hyderabad other way. We run the headquarters in Trivandrum. I know we talked about a lot of stuff. We never had that talent issues, provided we have the right leadership available. Okay, that's not easy, but there's a lot of effort need to be put in. So that means Trivandrum runs more like engineering and AI hub, and Hyderabad is more towards business, running the business like taxes. We run that. It's a US tax company. We have about 500 plus US tax professional running it from Trivandrum and Hyderabad. We worked with the ASAP program, Rishi, we just talked about. We hired about 100 people from Big Four, plus 400 is coming purely out of Kerala colleges based out of Cochin and Trivandrum. We trained them in US taxes, working with the ASAP program, which is going phenomenal. We created even the overall tax engine product sitting from India. The point I would try to make is it's not about many problems, because I've been seeing this. I was trying to be an evangelist for Kerala, even for McDonald's, T-Mobile, all started they all based out of Kansas City, because our headquarters is in Kansas City too, both in Seattle and Kansas City. But when I talk to their CIOs, the main point they talk about is there is nobody influencing for Kerala. It's the main problem. It's all happening with the connects, right? For example, if there's a leader from Telangana state available, they can easily influence the leadership in the US or UK and start their operations there. It's not about talent. Talent is definitely a reason, but at the end, there should be government need to work and create a lot of influencers working with the ANSR or with the Sino or KPMG, all the big fours. That's how we can create that. The only reason H&R Block started here is primarily because I knew the CEO of the company. They said, no, even Big Fours advised, let's not Trivandrum write a lot of hartals. But in the last 9 years, we did not even had a single day outage because of hartal. So that means there's a lot of perception outside. We need to clear that. That government need to for our CEO, we need to fix that. And second point is we need to find more influencers to start their operations in Kerala. That's the two things which I would share.
So, Srini, maybe I'll go in that gap. I was about to answer the same thing. Okay? I've been party to India roadshows in US, in Seattle, in New York, and everywhere. It's a combination of our company, TCS, and a banker who goes and sells the GCC concept in the US. And exactly the same point. Two things stands out. One is marketing. We don't talk about at all. When we start talking about a tier 2 city, which is far behind in many other parameters which Kerala can give, the name comes up. If they look at hub and spoke, and it would be unfair for me to tell those cities. But then I know the infrastructure, I know the grade A buildings over there personally. They're far below the standards what our state can give. We don't market, we don't talk at all. And then if we don't talk about it, these kind of negative perceptions are faster to grow. So that is one thing which is extremely crucial. We need to have a specific marketing division, which I believe we have, and I've been interacting with them for over the couple of days, but we need to push it and have partnership to go there and market it.
Yeah, so this government has decided just on that point, marketing point, the future corporation, one organization, so that is coming up, that will focusing only on this marketing part for the IT and IT related companies will be focusing, and that is coming up, and it will be monitored at the minister level, and Honorable CM will also be overall looking into it. So that we have marketing wings in the different Technopark has its own, then we have Kerala IT team is there. But the way you are telling that we need to market in an organized manner, so for that we will have a specific organization. Just
I want to add one more point, because I mean, marketing, I think we have already started to do, and we see that a lot of things come. Yeah. No, I also want to say that, a lot of us leaders who have positive experiences, we can talk about it on LinkedIn. Wherever we get an opportunity, we talk about what Kerala is. A lot of people, because we have clients, we have big networks, I think social media, especially things like LinkedIn, is a great platform for us to talk about it, right? And show the outcomes. Recently I had 4 events for the first time. India hosted, like Zafin hosted 4 of our biggest events in Trivandrum. We had 120 people come from across globally. We had our global board here. We had a global customer advisory here. That is the CXOs of at least 15 banks, biggest banks in the world, come here. We all hosted them for 2 weeks at Kovalam, and we had 500 of our employees from across Chennai and Trivandrum come and they were blown away by what Kerala could offer. I mean, of course, beyond 2 weeks, I would have run out of options. But, within that 2 weeks, we were able to showcase the talent and the wonderful facilities that this place has, especially the city has, right? So, and for them, we also had another occasion where, we work with one of the biggest credit unions in the US, in the world, in fact. They had a vendor in Mumbai, and then they had us here. They had flown to Mumbai, they'd done it, they came down to Trivandrum, and they were just so happy with the way it was in terms of, the traffic, the time to get it, the ease of doing everything, that they said the next time, and that's a bigger vendor, needs to come down to Trivandrum, and we will host it here. So there is a lot of opportunity like that, and we need to let our clients also speak about, how good this particular state can offer. And for that, I think LinkedIn is a great platform. If you can identify at least like influencers, top 20, 50 people who can consistently talk about and post about their experiences, I think that is one way to connect to the global network.
I completely agree with Suja. I'm trying to get my global board to Calicut or to Trivandrum, and I'm sure that next year they'll come down because of the quality and what we speak about. Added to marketing, what I have seen is what the Indian High Commissioners back in US ring fence their state. We don't do that at all. We actually, somewhere we become very humble and we tell it's okay, including Malayalis, what I've seen, right? So the speed and agility to ring fence a client who comes to this state is crucial. And I've been, again, all of us have been experienced this, how other state and other cities do it. We don't do it at all. We can actually do a far better job in ring fencing it with the speed and agility and the way we make decisions here. We have all the policies there, equivalent to what any other state. So along with marketing, if you club that, it's a very sweet spot.
Let me add another point also, if you may. Hari and Suja were mentioning about the company perspective, from the company, how they were able to do that to the state of Kerala. But it happens in every company. It happens in IBM, it happens in KPMG. Any of the companies, if you are coming from, say, Nissan, Tony Thomas has done that. So we all individually do that for a company perspective as well. But recently I had an opportunity to talk with somebody who is in the central government, and it was in a World Trade Center forum. So I was amazed to hear that if you look at the tier 2 city, tier 2 ecosystem, we have Ahmedabad, we have Vizag, we have Coimbatore, Trivandrum, Kochi always considered as one, and then Indore and Jaipur. Okay, the 6 tier 2 cities, if you are looking at it, most of the central government investments or investments on GCCs coming to central government and dispersed out never even touch on any of these places. Most of them, it goes to Gujarat, GIFT City. Definitely know that the central government support is there. Other place it is going is Vizag, because that is also because of the political influence that is there. But when it comes to, say, Invesco or any of the places in central government, we don't have a representation. We don't have anything to attract that into our city. That is a placeholder where I was representing that, a committee or placeholder which should be headed by a minister, honorable minister, as well as supporting by an IAS officer. That can make a lot of difference. That is not in the hands of Technopark or Infopark. It should be a separate body altogether. Separate body. That is my humble request.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a wonderful session. So I think if there are any questions, we can probably catch up over a tea or whenever we catch up outside. So firstly, congratulations and thanks to all of you for being a great sport and responding to all my questions. So it has been a pleasure, absolute pleasure, and lovely audience. Thank you all.
Thank you to our panelists and the moderator for sharing your thoughts and experience on the evolution of the GCC landscape and making Kerala a unique GCC destination, tapping into a multifaceted potential. And for the most apt and relevant adjectives for the GCC ecosystem in Kerala: green, secure, digital, gender diverse, stable, and sustainable. Thank you. Now it is time for me to invite Mr. Sandeep Kumar IAS, CEO Technopark, and Mr. Sushant Kurundil, CEO Infoparks Kerala, to present to the dais to present gift hampers as tokens of our appreciation to our panelists. Thank you, sir. May I request Mr. Sandeep Kumar IAS to present gift hampers to Mr. Srinivasan Sarvabhauman. Thank you. Mr. Rishikesh Nair. Thank you. And Ms. Suja Chandi. Thank you. Now I request Mr. Sushant Kurundil, CEO Info Parks Kerala, to present the gift hampers to Mr. Jipu Jose James. Thank you. And Mr. Karthik Parshuram. Thank you. Now, it would be our pleasure if all of you please stay on the dais for a group photo to mark this occasion. Thank you. We are sure that all of you might agree with the thought that the growth and expansion of the GCC ecosystem in Kerala needs collaboration among the brilliant minds that power the IT industry here. To facilitate interaction and networking among the attendees of Kerala GCC Outlook 2026, including the representatives of the companies, consultants, government officials, infrastructure developers, and industry associates, we have arranged a networking session and high tea. Request all of you to be part of that, to gather for the high tea. And also we request all of you to assemble at the hall after the high tea and be seated by 4:25 p.m. for the formal event marking the launch of the Kerala GCC Feasibility Report, which will be inaugurated by the Honorable Minister for Industries, Commerce, IT and AI, Sri P.K. Kunyalakutti. Thank you. We request all of you to gather for the high tea. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We are beginning the formal event now. A warm and pleasant evening to all our distinguished guests and attendees at Kerala GCC Outlook 2026. We are formally beginning the event to mark the launch of Kerala GCC Feasibility Report. Kerala's vision of becoming a leading global capability center destination takes another significant step forward today. As global capability centers drive innovation, digital transformation, and enterprise growth worldwide, we are proud to launch the Kerala GCC Feasibility Report at Kerala GCC Outlook 2026. The report highlights the state's readiness, talent strength, and strategic roadmap to attract and scale GCC investments. Positioning Kerala as a leading GCC destination by building a globally competitive GCC ecosystem is a collective responsibility that requires strong collaboration among the government, industry, academia, developers, and innovation partners. Together, we must tell Kerala's story to the world, not only as a state that produces exceptional talent, but also as a destination where global companies can establish, innovate, and scale. Today's Kerala GCC Outlook 2026 brings together industry leaders, policymakers, government officials, and experts to explore this opportunity, discuss emerging trends, and chart the path forward for Kerala's GCC journey. Marking the official commencement of the program, may I invite Sri Ram Sambashivarao, IAS Special Secretary, Department of Electronics and IT, Government of Kerala, for the welcome address. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Minister for Industries, IT and AI, Shri P.K. Kunyalkutti sir. Honorable Shri V. Muralidharan sir, Honorable MLA, Karakotam Constituency. Dignitaries on the dais, Technopark CEO, Infopark CEO, and all other dignitaries on the dais, and all those who assembled for this particular gathering. Good afternoon, all of you. 35 years ago, a handful of engineers set up office in a modest building in what was then a quiet corner of Thiruvananthapuram, betting that a state better known for its backwaters and its literacy than its technology could compete on the global stage. Today, that bet has paid off many times over. Kerala is home to over 1,166 technology companies, 1.55 lakh IT professionals, and software exports crossing 26,000 crore a year. I recall this history not to evoke nostalgia and not to rest on laurels, but because it is a foundation on which everything we discuss today rests. Kerala has never lacked the talent or the ambition. What we are gathered here today to build together is the next chapter of that story. I want to take a moment to speak on why the government of Kerala treats the technology sector with the urgency that it does. This is not one industry among many for us. It is one of the most important sectors for the future economic growth of this state. Kerala does not have the heavy industry of some other states. What we have is our people, educated, skilled, and connected to the world. The technology sector is where that advantage translates most directly into jobs, into exports, and into prosperity. That is why this government has placed it at the very center of its economic strategy. With that centrality comes a responsibility that we take very seriously. The responsibility to create high quality, high value employment at a scale that matches the aspirations of our young people. This is precisely why the government has recognized that we cannot remain confined to conventional IT services alone. We must move into new and emerging sectors, artificial intelligence, semiconductor design, deep technology, and as today's event reflects, global capability centers. If we are to generate the volume and the quality of jobs our state needs. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you to Kerala GCC Outlook 2026 and the launch of the Kerala GCC Feasibility Report, Around the world, global capability centers have evolved from cost centers into global hubs for innovation, product engineering, R&D, and strategic business operations. They are driving the next wave of technological transformation and creating high-value employment across the globe. For Kerala, this presents an unprecedented opportunity. With our highly skilled talent pool, mature IT ecosystem, world-class digital infrastructure, strong academic institutions, and exceptional quality of life, the state is well positioned to emerge as a preferred destination for GCCs. Kerala already hosts more than 45 operational GCCs today. Our vision is to build on this foundation and reach 150 GCCs and 2 lakh associated jobs by 2031, not as a distant target, but as a trajectory we begin accelerating from this very afternoon. Today's event is therefore both timely and significant. It serves as a strategic platform to deliberate on Kerala's rapidly evolving GCC ecosystem. The Kerala GCC Feasibility Report, prepared in partnership with ANSR, presents a comprehensive assessment of Kerala's readiness and outlines a strategic roadmap for attracting and scaling GCC investments. Moreover, the occasion will witness the exchange of strategic partnership MOUs between Kerala IT and ANSR as well as Collabra, reinforcing Kerala's commitment to strengthening its GCC ecosystem. More importantly, this program brings together industry leaders, GCC executives, consultants, ecosystem stakeholders, and senior government officials to exchange ideas, identify opportunities, and collectively chart the way forward for positioning Kerala as one of India's leading GCC destinations. At the outset, it is my privilege to extend a very warm welcome to our chief guest, Sri P.K. Kunyalkutti sir, Honorable Minister for Industries, Commerce, IT and AI, Government of Kerala. Sir, since assuming charge of this portfolio, you have moved with a sense of urgency, championing the establishment of India's first dedicated cabinet-level artificial intelligence portfolio and personally driving initiatives from the Future Corporation to GCC policy to PPP framework and GCC strengthening ecosystem initiatives that brings us here today. Your visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to strengthening Kerala's technology ecosystem continue to inspire all of us in this department, and we are deeply honored by your presence this afternoon. Thank you, sir. And next, I extend a warm welcome to Sri V. Muralidharan, Honorable MLA Karakutam Constituency, and I also thank him for his consistent support to Technopark, IT department, and this department's work in his constituency. Thank you very much, sir. I extend a warm welcome to Sri Srinivasan Sarvabhauman, Chief Financial Officer of ANSR and the entire ANSR team, our valued knowledge partners for this important initiative. I also extend a warm welcome to Sri Roni Sebastian, Secretary of GTech. And I also welcome the CEOs of Technopark, Sri Sandeep, and also CEO of Infopark, Sushant, for this gathering. Distinguished panelists, industry leaders, delegates, heads of institutions, and members of IT fraternity, a very warm welcome to each one of you. Your presence makes this event truly meaningful. With these words, I once again extend a very warm welcome to each one of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Let me now welcome Honorable MLA Karakutam Constituency, Sri V. Muralidharan, to deliver the presidential address.
The chief guest of today's evening, Honorable Minister for IT, Industry, IT and AI, Sri P.K. Kunyalikutti, the Secretary, Special Secretary, Department of Electronics and IT, Government of Kerala, who has already welcomed the gathering, Sri Sriram Sambashivarao. Other guests on the dais, the Sri S.S. Sunil, Councillor of this ward, Mr. Roni Sebastian, Secretary GTech, the CEO Technopark, Sri Sandeep Kumar, Sri Sushant Kurundil, the CEO of Infopark, other dignitaries on and off the dais, participants of this gathering, of this event. Namaskaram and good evening to all of you. At the outset, let me congratulate all those who have come together to organize such a discussion, especially which is focusing on the potential of Kerala to emerge as a hub for GCCs. In fact, such a discussion and the release of the feasibility report, I hope, will attract more GCCs to start its functioning from the various parts of Kerala. This is all the more important in the context of Government of India coming forward to promote and encourage and provide incentives to set up GCCs in Tier 2 cities. The Tier 1 cities are already heavily congested, we know, all of us, whether it is Bangalore or this Chennai or Hyderabad or any such place. So naturally, it has to shift to various Tier 2 cities. When we discuss about the various aspects of the Kerala's potential and Kerala's possibilities and advantages, we have a very good climate. That's all, which the major point that will attract GCCs to Kerala. But at the same time, the rosy picture that we see within the four walls of the compound walls of the Technopark and the stark realities outside when we step out of the Technopark is a thing that we need to consider. My humble submission, including to the chief guest, would be that while on the one hand we have a very, very attractive proposals, very good advantages for setting up GCCs within Kerala, but at the same time, considering the cost factor, considering various other advantages, the life outside Technopark also is a major point that we need to consider and find a solution to. Because we used to say that we have abundant water. That is the point that we used to say in favor of Kerala. But that's not the situation now, especially I can say in Kadakuta. Because the studies say that, because as a constituency, I did a study and I could find out that there is a 35% gap between the requirement and the availability. Within Kadakutam area, there is a 10 MLD gap. There is a shortage. Some of the those who are running various firms within this Technopark, I had an opportunity to interact with them. They were telling me that we have to spend almost 1 crore per year for getting drinking water, providing water to our firms within Technopark. This will scale up the operational cost at a drastic level. So these issues will have to be sorted out. These issues will have to be addressed. So we will have to look at these issues comprehensively. Attracting GCCs in the context of various other cities. India has around 2,000 GCCs across the country. We have around 45. Bangalore has hundreds. Chennai has hundreds. Telangana, that is Hyderabad, has hundreds. So we are aiming at 150, which is a modest target. I'm sure that we will be able to achieve that. But that should not be the ultimate. That should not be the ultimate goal. We need to go beyond that. And to go beyond that, we should look at the entire scenario in a comprehensive way. How can we improve that? How can we make it more attractive to ensure that more people come towards this environment to take benefit out of this and make the state as the real hub of GCCs. So especially this point I would like to focus, because from Tier 1 cities to Tier 2 cities, there is a major shift, and we should be able to make the benefit out of that. Now, Coimbatore is emerging. I was really surprised recently when I visited Coimbatore that you have thousands of IT professionals now based in Coimbatore. There are Mysore is emerging. There are many other cities which are emerging. And connectivity is a major issue. Connectivity, air connectivity, rail connectivity, all these issues are major issues. Road connectivity. So outside the four walls, compound walls of Technopark, how the life can be made more comfortable is also an issue, or I would say is a major issue, because IT professionals, those who are working within these GCCs, they will be stepping out and they are going to live there. Even the other day I had a discussion. So people were telling me that there is no entertainment opportunities after evening 7 or 8. So these are all factors that we need to address comprehensively. So the feasibility report, definitely I welcome that. I congratulate all those who have worked behind that, because I would welcome any such initiative, because this is part of my constituency. So, but I am batting for this Kadakotam and this Technopark to become really more flourishing in the coming days, because that will help the people who are living here. That will make Kadakotam as the emerging growth center, the growth center of not only Thiruvananthapuram, but the growth center of the entire state. So such a thing to happen, I would definitely urge earnestly to all concerned to address those issues within the campus as well as within the four walls of the Technopark, as well as outside the this compound walls of Technopark. With these words, again, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all those who have worked behind this, and also to the minister who has taken a lead in making Kerala a GCC hub and preparing a feasibility report. With these words, I conclude. Namaskaram to all of you.
Thank you. Now we are reaching the highlight moments of Kerala GCC Outlook 2026. It's my absolute privilege to invite our chief guest, Honorable Minister for Industries, Commerce, IT and AI, Sri P.K. Kunjalikutti, for the launch of the feasibility report. But before that, I would like to invite Honorable MLA Kadakotam Sri V. Muralidharan to present the GCC feasibility report to the Honorable Minister. Thank you. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please stay there for a group photo of the report launch. Thank you. To further accelerate GCC investments in Kerala, Kerala Electronics and IT Department, represented by Infoparks Kerala and Technopark, has formalized its partnership with Answer and Collabora through memorandums of understanding. Now, let's welcome Sri Sushant Kurundil, CEO Infoparks Kerala, and Sri Srinivasan Sarvabhauman, Chief Financial Officer, Answer, to exchange the signed MOU in the presence of the Honorable Minister and dignitaries on stage. Thank you. Now, may I also invite Sri Sandeep Kumar IAS, CEO Technopark, and Sri Ranjit Doshi, Director Collabora, to exchange the signed MOU in the presence of the Minister and dignitaries on the dais. Thank you. Now I invite CEO of Ascent Edge Business Consortium, Mr. Shajil Abdul Aziz, to submit the DPR of the private IT park to the Honorable Minister. Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to invite Honorable Minister for Industries, Commerce, IT and AI, Sri P.K. Kunyalikutti, to deliver the inaugural address. Welcome, sir.
President of the meeting, Sri Muralidharan, the councillor from this ward, people's representative, my colleagues, and industry leaders who are all present here. I'm very happy to be here. Actually, it's a major occasion, it's a good occasion. What is being carried out here is an important step to make Kerala a preferred GCC destination. I remember a time when we all tried to make Kerala a preferred IT destination. In that, I would like to say that we achieved a lot of things. Even at that time, we were not that developed in many things, but we could achieve many a thing, and we could also bring Kerala on the map of the IT professionals and IT industry and all that. Now, this is a time when we have to think about various things. The new government, which took charge after taking charge, announced its policy. In that policy, we have made it very clear that we want to make Kerala the best GCC destination, best preferred GCC destination. For that, we are aware our shortcomings. We are also aware and proud that we have various strengths. We have good education system, literacy rate, IT literacy stage rate, and good professionals, etc., etc. There are many shortcomings also. We have our own problems, our own perception issue, things like that. We want to make everything set right and make Kerala the most preferred GCC destination. I think definitely these things that we are doing here, a final report to make a feasibility study on establishing GCC in Kerala is a good study. MOE is being said. I think there is a signing of MOE also. Actually, we are listening to the industry today, what has to be done in this context. So I hope from the discussion that is going to take place and the signing that is taking place, government will be able to achieve our goal and make Kerala India's best preferred destination for GCCs. We also know that life, as mentioned, Sri Muralidharan mentioned it being the local MLA. I would like to say life inside the technoparks and life outside the technopark, wherever it may be in India, it may not be the same. I have visited many technoparks in Bangalore. When you step out from that compound, it is very difficult. But Kerala has, when compared to other states, many strengths. We should be proud of our strength. And we should bring Kerala in the best preferred map of India for GCC. Together we will try that. and together we'll face our problems and overcome that. I hope that everybody will cooperate with it. Thank you, on and for all of you. And with these words, I conclude my speech.
Thank you, sir. Now may I invite Sri Srinivasan Sarvabhauman, Chief Financial Officer, ANSWER, to present the GCC feasibility report.
Yeah. Good evening, all. Thanks for this opportunity in front of the Honorable Minister, MLA, and the dignitaries in the dais. So it's been a privilege for ANSWER to do this study on the GCC ecosystem. Hello? Yeah. It's been a privilege for ANSWER to do this study. And we have done an unbiased study in the sense like how does that compare and what happens to Kerala. So we all know that what started in the early 2000s or late 90s as just a cost arbitrage, we have significantly moved towards multiple capability center. I think our IT secretary also mentioned that. And completely we echo that. There is absolutely a sea change in the way how we started doing the business and what it has been happening today. It has become innovation hubs. It has become global centers of excellence where the team that are there in India are seen as the extended office of the headquarters that are there in the other countries. So when we did this mapping, to our surprise, there were more greens than reds compared to other studies. You'll actually notice whether it is policy for ease of doing, the proposed policy, GCC policy, there are a lot of subsidies which are more attractive. And I think we are trending in the right direction from a Kerala standpoint, from a policy. We spoke at length about the talent availability, skill availability. Then the most significant thing is the cost advantage. The cost of doing business in Kerala is almost 50% of the cost of doing business in a Bangalore or a Hyderabad. And the attrition rates in Kerala are less than 50% of the attrition that are there in the industry outside Kerala. Infrastructure, I don't have any words to say. I've seen these buildings. They are no less to any other infrastructure or any other IT parks. We have colleagues that I had earlier shared the dais with JLL and Brigade and others. So I think the infrastructure out here is truly world class, and these are affordable. And the proposed GCC policies also has subsidies on the infrastructure, the rental costs. So there are also proposals for having a lower tariffs on the electricity and the making the water available, so etc. So those can make it even more attractive. And the entire ecosystem. I think one word that our minister mentioned is on the connectivity, air connectivity. I think MLA sir, you made it right. So if we improve some of these connectivity and other infrastructure, I think this is a place that is to be there. So all of it is there. So we have the GST reimbursements, state GST, GST reimbursements, the capital subsidies, a lot of single window operating system in terms of registrations. Then we have the talent development program and other diversity incentives. I think from a policy standpoint, we are in the right track. Some marquee names who have actually had their presence in Kerala. And this is my last slide. So what is the way forward? I would suggest we have a focused approach, focus on few cities in Kerala, particularly Trivandrum, Kochi, and Kozhikode. And what we have noticed, there are technology, digital, semiconductor are centers where it can be focused around Trivandrum. And you have the fintech companies and cloud cybersecurity around Kochi, and other smaller teams and strategic value hubs and emerging hubs can be placed in Kozhikode. So this was our study. So ours is a detailed study which you can download it from the internet, but this is just a snapshot of what we have prepared. Thank you.
So I missed out inviting our Honorable Ward Councillor of Attipra Ward, Sri Sunil SS. I invite him for the occasion, and I also invite him to share a few words on the occasion.
Now, may I invite Sri Roni Sebastian, Secretary GTEC, for the felicitations.
Good evening, everyone. So, first of all, on behalf of GTEC, I would like to congratulate the entire organizers behind this great initiative. This is definitely a milestone for Kerala, being one of the GCC destinations. So GTEC, we are a group of vibrant technology companies, and we try to bring technology companies across the state of Kerala. And we always believe that the Kerala's digital economy depends very much on the collaboration that we have with the government, the industry, the startups, and the academia. And the report, as well as the panelists earlier were mentioning about the number of GCCs in India, which is somewhere around more than 1,800, which is a huge number. And this is definitely going to be more in the upcoming years. And the number of GCCs, what we have in India, is employing a huge number of talents also. So GCCs, when they try to come to Kerala, one of the major things that they can look at is the talent. And that's a huge opportunity for Kerala. I mean, like the talents in Kerala. At the same time, apart from the talents, for the industry, for the IT companies, or else like for the technology companies in Kerala, that is also a huge opportunity. Why? Because many of the technology companies in Kerala are like vendors of these GCCs. So that also opens a lot of opportunities. And again, as I said, for the GCCs, Kerala is always a pool of talent. So it's like a win-win for both. And Kerala has got all the ingredients to be successful. Like we have the ease of life, I mean, like the quality of life, we have talents, we have infrastructure, everything we do have. At the same time, we need to improve or else like we need to strengthen the infrastructure, as well as we need to have more better visibility globally. And also we need to create that ecosystem which can actually help to bring, or else like, which can actually make these companies to think of Kerala as a default destination for them. And GTEC will definitely be working closely with the government to make this a reality. And we'll always be working closely with the government in helping all the IT companies in Kerala. And we'll definitely be suggesting our pointers also, we'll be suggesting that to the government. Thank you.
Thank you. May I now invite Sri Sushant Kurundil, CEO Infoparks Kerala, for the felicitation address.
A respected Minister for Industries, IT and Artificial Intelligence, Sri P.K. Kunyalikudi sir, respected MLA of Karakutam, Sri B. Muralidharan sir, and all of the dignitaries on the dais, and dear colleagues. So this is an evening where we talk about GCCs. but we've been doing a lot of deliberations over the past 1 year as to how do we position Kerala as a GCC destination. So the culmination of a lot of those kind of things you have already seen in the report that was presented by ANSR. But let me very quickly talk about what we have done in the last 1 year. So the first one was getting answer to do the feasibility report. In addition to that, we have drafted the Kerala GCC policy, which has been again mentioned in the report. And the key things within that GCC policy. So we basically talk about three basic things. Number one, we came up with this concept called the GCC boilerplate. GCC boilerplate is a one-stop solution that will help any GCC coming into Kerala. This is, I think, a very unique offering that we are providing. The next thing that we talk about are the incentives. So we have listed a lot of incentives in that draft report. And then the third thing is the ecosystem. The ecosystem is something, how we are building the ecosystem and what are all the things that all of us together are building, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's the talent pool, whether it's the policies and everything. So these are the three things that we are focusing in that GCC policy. The draft is already available in the public domain. So please take a look at that. The other major thing is that we have identified some 10 or 11 core verticals that we can focus on. What verticals Trivandrum should focus, what verticals Kochi should focus, and what Calicut should focus. So the report pretty much talks about what all of those things are to be done. But one of the things that we have started doing is we are trying to make ourselves visible. So the first thing we started with being the title sponsor of the GCC Surgeon in Kochi last year, and then that is going to happen again, this time in Trivandrum. And then we are visible in many GCC events. And then we have done a very unique event called the GCCs for GCC. That is, how do we attract GCCs from the Gulf countries? So that is a roundtable that we have done last year, and then we are going to do that again. And then in addition to that, we are looking at how do we make ourselves visible? How do we make our diaspora work for us? And then how do we bring all of these things together? There is a lot of discussions are going internally, but at the same time, what we would really like to do is all of you, the industry leaders, work with us and then trying to see how we can all pull more and more GCCs into Kerala. So with that, let me just conclude. Thank you very much. And once again, it's a great evening for GCCs in Kerala.
Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to request Sri Sriram Sambashivarao IAS, Special Secretary, Department of Electronics IT, Government of Kerala, to present gift hampers as tokens of our respect to the Honorable Minister, Sri P.K. Kunyalikutti, Honorable MLA, Sri V. Muralidharan, Honorable Councillor, Sri Sunil S.S., and Sri Roni Sebastian, GTEC Secretary. Thank you. Thank you. Let me now invite Sri Sandeep Kumar IAS, CEO Technopark, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister, Honorable MLA, respected Secretary, all the participants from the industry, people from developer community, co-developers, friends from media. So it's a very pleasant evening for us to discuss. In the afternoon, we discussed about all the benefits that Kerala had, and the feasibility report that was published by Honorable Minister also reflects lots of strength that has been talked about. So we have talked about the strength, and this feasibility report will be making it public also, sharing with media also. So many strengths we have talked about in Kerala. We request all of you to circulate. Someone suggested that social media is also a very powerful tool, that all of us should promote ourselves. What are the strengths that especially Kerala has in terms of attracting the GCCs? Lots of things were talked about. What are things which are coming up in the coming time? Respected Secretary Sir talked about the future corporation. It has been well-designed organization which will be attracting the, not only investment but also this GCC sector also it will be focusing on. Today we signed 2 MOUs, and then GCC policy almost ready and we'll be launching it very soon. That is part of the 100 days program. And GCC boilerplate, I and Sushant is working very closely. That is the concept that first day GCC comes and we should have a ready-made place to give. GCC Surge is the event that we'll look forward to hosting next week. So lots of things are being planned. We are taking it in a systemic way so that we can leverage the strength that we have talked about and which is there in the report. So for coming to this occasion and participating in this event and for the active discussion in the previous session also, and for today's this inaugural program, I respectfully thank our Honorable Minister for Industries, Commerce, IT and AI, Sri P.K. Kunalikutty sir. So sir has been a leader and champion of all the initiatives that we are taking up, and as part of 100 days program, lots of initiatives from the Techno Park and from Kerala IT, we are taking it forward. Thank you, sir, for joining us. I'm also pleased to thank our Honorable MLA Sri V. Muralidharan, Karakutam constituencies. This is sir's first official visit of Techno Park. We hope to conduct many such events and welcome sir to such occasions. Our respected Secretary, Sri Ram Samasiva Rao sir. I think most of you are already familiar, and sir is very energetic and taking lots of initiatives. We are moving at a fast speed. Thank you, sir, for giving us a welcome address and guiding the Kerala IT towards high-speed development. And I also take this occasion to thank Councillor of Attipura Ward, Sri Sunil SS, for joining us today this evening. Also, CFO of NSR. NSR prepared this feasibility report and you coordinated the event also. So thank you very much, Srinivasanji. And Sri Roni Sebastian, Secretary GTech, is recently taken charge, and I think lots of activities we will planning. Sri Sushant Kruthil, CEO Infopark, and all the participants who have joined us today. We discussed so many things. Thank you very much for joining today, and I hope that discussions and engagement will continue. We have a roundtable discussion after this with selected industries partners. So there we will get to talk with Honorable Minister and issues and all those things we'll discuss. Thank you for everyone for joining today.
Thank you. We have come to the close of the formal event now. Thank you everyone for being part of Kerala GCC Outlook 2026, the launch of the Kerala GCC Feasibility Report and the leadership panel discussion. Your presence, insights and participation have made this event truly meaningful. We hope today's discussions have inspired new perspectives, strengthened collaborations and paved the way for greater opportunities to augment Kerala's GCC ecosystem. Thank you once again for joining us. Let's together take inspired action to work seamlessly and collaborate relentlessly to translate the vision of making Kerala a GCC hub into a reality. We wish you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Sir, the IT lead strategist plan ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്.